I'm good. How are you? Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here with you.
Yes, you as well. I've never personally seen a field of barley, but in my head, I kind of see it as like something that's soft and flowy and kind of wispy, is what I would think about it.
Have you have you once draw with a pencil or had a sketch or a paint of it?
Um, no, wheat, but I'm gonna look it up
Wheat.
here.
Very well. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So wheat.
yeah, I've seen wheat.
Okay. So you have seen. Can you describe how does it look like a sheaf? How does it look like?
It's just kind of like thin and it looks like it's like thin leaves, thin middle, and just like yellow and kind of flowy and soft looking to me.
Yes. Yes. So it is interesting. Those spikes that are coming from the wheat or from the barley, they look like hair, like hair.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they
ye
do.
yes. So similar to the wheat, there is a barley, but the barley precedes the harvest of wheat. The wheat will be ready around June, around Shavuot, but now the barley comes first in appearance of the field. So the barley seorah comes now on April at Passover. This is the time, the harvesting of the barley. This is the time that Naomi and Ruth are returning to Bethlehem. This is the atmosphere. There is a storm. This is the weather because it's not yet summer when the sun is high in the sky. So there is like a constant struggle between the wind, the rain, the sun. So this is a very stormy period. Se- Se'ara is storm. And at this time of the year, the barley pops out. Se'ora, barley, the barley pops out. It has many, like a lot of hairs, those spikes. Yes, and when there's a storm, there's a sense of everything is moving. Those hairs, just like somebody just going, let's say, in the street in the moment of the storm without hat or without a coat, and suddenly his hair is getting messy from the storm that is moving in his hair. So he becomes a little messy. So the relation between Seorah, barley, and Seara, storm, and everything is shifting and moving and unstable. And at this day, at this time of the year, when everything is unstable and not clear, Naomi and Ruth are returning to Bethlehem. From barley, people used to make beer until today. You put barley in water for a while and then there's a beer going on. The barley is considered to be the food of the cattle, the food, the nourishment of the animal, or I would say, the cows and the bulls. This is what they eat. But the wheat is the food or the sustenance for human. So there is a difference. Though they might look, and they teach people who learn in agriculture the difference between wheat and barley. They look almost similar, almost identical. But the barley comes first, 7 weeks before the wheat. And the barley is the nourishment for the cattle, and the wheat is a nourishment for men. And we can even look through the barley and the wheat, and we can see how, in a way, Joseph, what he kept in his heart all of those years in Egypt against his father, how the father Jacob could not distinguish between the blood of the animal or the cattle and the blood of a human, meaning Jacob accept the version that his sons presented to him, and he could not distinguish between blood to blood. This is not just between blood to blood, the blood of the animal or the blood of human, because blood is red for both. It is also go that far that it is almost for us impossible to identify the difference between wheat and barley unless we learn when do they appear in the field. It is interesting that also Naomi and Ruth are returning to Bethlehem in the time of harvesting the barley. Ktsir seorim. Ktsir seorim. Ktsir seorim. What happens when we harvest, let's say, barley or any kind of wheat? What happens in the field? Let's say it's not like our times, but traditionally. How people go in the field and they harvest. Can you describe in English what happens in the field? Let's say we are living 3,000 years before our time. Yes? How it will be done? How do we harvest the wheat or the barley? What happens in the field? What do we have to hold in our hand? Yes, to harvest the barley.
Would it be like a sickle or something that was curved?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Very excellent. It looks like a moon. Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
there's with this half a circle, there is a handle to it, and people go with one hand, the left hand usually they hold the sheaf, and with the right they chop it. This is called ktsir seorim. Ktsir is a harvest, but it comes from ketz, the end of barley, because it's being cut. Harvest in Hebrew, ktsir means the end of. Yes. And it is interesting because we said that the barley is the food of the cattle. And they arrived to Bethlehem at the time when harvesting the barley. It is, in a way, the time of the beast or the animal is over. Now it's the time of human. Do you see the correlation? Do you see the difference or not yet? You do. And here, in a way, when they return to Bethlehem, they return in Passover. It is very interesting. Those like parallel notions, not quite sure. Yes, Yanis, can you speak? Yanis, can you unmute and speak? Can you tell us what you don't understand? Yes, Yanis. I
Hi,
clicked. Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Good evening. How do you do?
Greeting. I'm very well, thank you. Oh, you mentioned something about the animals, which I didn't quite understand.
Yes, yes. The animals or the cows, they are being nourished. Their nourishment is the barley. The spot, this part of the barley is being chopped and is served to them as nourishment. This is the nourishment of the cattle. Do you understand this basic fact?
Yes.
Yes. So they return at the timing that they return to Bethlehem. Those days before the Passover, they return in the time of harvesting the barley, when the barley, the food of the cattle, is being cut. What nourishes the cattle is being cut, has come to an end. But not just the nourishment of the cattle has come to an end, but the period of their life that they live like animals, because they are returning from the field of Moab. They were there for 10 years. but they did not live like humans. This is understood before we go on, or not yet?
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Yes? So they did
Yes.
not live there like humans. They did not have a life of humans there at all. It was, they died. Three of them, and one bride just did not continue. So in a way, all this episode of the animal time of their life is over. Elimelech is gone. The sons are gone. Orpah is gone. And the only two, yes? ותלכנה שתיהן יחדיו, and only they walk together. Ruth and Naomi, only they return to Bethlehem, bread, the house of bread. The bread is a nourishment of human. Yes? The bread is nourishment of human, comes from the wheat. And they come to Bethlehem at the end of staying in the field of Moab for 10 years. But this is also the time of the year in which the barley is being harvested, is being cut. There's an end, not just to the barley, but for the life of the animals that they lived, or non-human conditions that they lived. Is this understood? And they return to Bethlehem, to the house of bread, to the house of human, because human are nourishing from bread, which is made from the wheat, because the wheat, yes, is what nourishing men. Do we understand that?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So it's like nuances. It's not just a story. It's not just a beautiful play on stage because it's very dramatic. It is. But there's like another thing which is going on under the ground, under the plot, so to speak, of who lives and who dies, who marries and who divorces and so, or becomes a widow. Question so far? So this is the last verse of the first chapter. They appear in Bethlehem at the end of the barley, not the end, but they arrive to Bethlehem, בימי קציר שעורים, in the days of harvesting the barley. And they arrive in those days. What is characterizing the Passover, according to your understanding?
Freedom.
Freedom. Yes, of course. Yes. Freedom from what?
From all kinds of bondages.
Yes.
Animal life.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes. What characterizes the animal? What is the difference between appearance of an animal and appearance of human as we see them, let's say, in the way that they appear? What is the difference between them? Yes, yes, yes. Animals, they have 4 legs. Yes, 4 legs on the ground. Yes, and usually the head is parallel to the ground. What is usually the nourishment in Passover? Yes, from duality. Yes, yes, excellent, Abigail. From duality to the one, we eat matzah, the bread of being. Yes, we don't eat, so to speak, the yeast bread or the leaven bread, because this is need duration in time. It needs process, like multiplicity, because every pregnancy, let's say, of a cow takes time. It takes 9 months to deliver a calf, so we need a duration in time. But they arrive to Bethlehem at the evening of Pesach. Pesach is one. Yes, if we abstract the letters, we get one. In a way, they leave behind them the life of a cattle, the duration in time, the multiplicity. It's very interesting, the moment of the arrival. After 10 years of famine. The matzah that is being made, it is made from wheat. Wheat, which we don't add to it yeast, just water. And they arrive at this moment, in the moment of being. When the barley, the animal part, is being cut, the process in time, before, and there's only being. And who arrives to Bethlehem in the moment of being? Ruth and Naomi. In a way, the book of Ruth or the scroll of Ruth would be called the scroll of being, because they're returning into Bethlehem just to be. They don't want anything. Is this understood, this moment? Any questions? Fernando, would you like to ask a question, to share a text that you're reading lately?
Shalom, Eti,
Shalom.
Yanis, Abigail.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Eti.
How do
I'm
you
fine.
do?
I'm fine, and I am happy to be here and thinking about this Passover, like to be free from this bondage and things that we, uh, let's say, that we not that are not healthy for us, let's say. And the idea of simple being is quite beautiful. I have one quote from that book that I am reading, like really slowly, just one page, and not every day, but it is I cannot walk any faster with this, that Shamati from Baruch Ashlag, uh, where he speaks about the mitzvot, and I found it quite beautiful. Uh, he said that the mitzvot, the good deeds, needs to be performed for nothing, and only for the children you say that it's needed, the mitzvot, the good deeds are needed to get a place on high, let's say, or to get better, or things like this. And I found this beautiful because it seems that it need a kind of maturity to understand that the relationship with the sacred is for nothing, let's say, is it's a paradox, you know, it a great paradox that the most sacred is at the same time for nothing.
Yes, the sacred is nothing. This is what it is. It's hard for people to accept it. That sacred is nothing. It's true. This is why also Ruth returns. She doesn't want anything. Because Naomi says, but I don't have sons in my intestines in Hebrew. It's in English, it's not in belly or womb, it's in intestines. This is what she says, because the womb is installed in the intestines to protect. So she says to her, to the both brides, and even, why do you come with me? Why do you return with me? And even if I conceive this night, even if I could, in a very imaginary scenario, this is what Naomi says, even if I could conceive tonight, and I will bear 2 sons, will you wait for them? Will you anchor yourself for them for decades until they will grow to be your husbands? You will stop living because you're waiting. This is how she, in a way, Orpah listens to these words. She turns back and goes to Moab. But Ruth, she doesn't want, she doesn't care about getting married or establishing a house. She just wants to be, and this is the secret of this friendship between them. She just wants to be with her. She doesn't want from her a husband to give her another son, even in the future. She doesn't want her land. Now, after 10 years, they have nothing basically, but she doesn't want anything from her, just to be with her. This is it. Like Fernando said, it's for nothing. Sacred is nothing. Holiness, in English, holy, comes from whole everything, but also whole, meaning there's nothing inside. It's all of those words are connected. Whole, holy, and whole, they are connected. And since, and we were mentioning this, the speech of Joseph in the book of Thomas Mann, that what does it mean to be in peace and just to accept every moment, whatever happens. Ruth does not carry with her any agenda or theory or motivation. She just being with Naomi. And what happens in the moment happens, and in Ruth's life there's space for what is happening. She doesn't plan. There are people who go like with a list of what to do in the world. I would like this to happen. People want to have house. They want all kinds of things. Yes? And they go with this list to do. But Ruth does not go. She just goes with this emptiness. And this is being, and this is sacred. But since sacred is empty, there is emptiness that also can host new life. She doesn't plan this to happen. But since she has respect for emptiness, it is happening. Questions? Fernando, Yanis, Jill, Abigail? And the letters, yes? Yes, Jill?
Question.
Yes.
So you were saying that emptiness is also sacred? Is that what you just said?
Yes, it is sacred. Emptiness is sacred. This is what it is. Emptiness.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Yes, Abigail is asking, is Opa in parallel to Vashti? It's an open question to think about. Opa comes from nape, Oref. Oref is a nape, and she turns her nape to Naomi. Yes, she is called Opa. She is the mother of Goliath later. Yes? Not mother, but grandmother also. And Ruth will become the grandmother of David. And they will meet, Goliath and David. So Ruth, her essence is just to be. Therefore, the letters of her name are appearing in the name of the Torah. We have Ruth, yes, 3 letters. And Torah, when we arrange the letters and add He, this is the Torah. The essence of the Torah is being. And Ruth is carrying this essence of being, like the Torah. The Torah is not a story of a family, of a lineage, of dynasties. No, the Torah is being. We say in English, human being. We don't say human dash beast. We can also say that. We say human being. So the Torah, like Ruth, those the same letters you can see. This is being. Being is just emptiness that holds all possibilities. Again, being is just emptiness that holds all possibilities. Look, for instance, let's imagine that we are entering a new house, empty house. There's like just walls, windows, and maybe like a kitchen, minimal. Yes. So it's a house. There's few rooms inside, and each room is empty. But since or we can take just one room or the living room, since it's empty, specifically its emptiness can host any possibility of furnishing, of lighting, of decorating. Is it understood? Just look at a house. Take, for example, let's say empty living room in a new house. It's empty. There's windows and you can see from the windows, imagine the garden, but it's empty. But deliberately, because it is empty, it can host infinite possibilities of different curtains. Yes, of different lightning? How do you say lightning? And different couches and different, let's say, dining table inside. So specifically, it's empty, it can host all possibilities in its emptiness. Because if you give this empty living room to an architect or to, how do you say, interior design, each one will take it in a different way because it's empty. It can host everything. This is why it's so sacred. Do you understand this principle?
E.T.,
Yes, Yanis.
may I ask a question?
Sure.
You mentioned that Rose was like a being, but in Ruth was a Moabitess, and
Yes.
I think in the Torah it did mention something about being a Moabite, that they cannot enter into the assembly of the Lord up to the 10th generation. So what do you define within that context? And with Ruth as a being and a Moabite not being able to enter into the assembly of the Lord.
I think it's about the men, not about the ladies. They say Moavi, men, and not Moavit with Taf. You ask about it. It's about men, not about, they cannot come into the community of Israel. Yes, but it's about the men, not about
It
Ruth.
mentions it's a Moabite. So in Hebrew it means something else?
Yes, I can check it, but it just comes like from this infinite. It says Moavi, meaning the male from Moab cannot come until the 10th generation, and not a Moabite lady. But I can look at it for you later and send it to you. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I think it's in Deuteronomy 23:6.
yes. You can have it. You have it already?
Uh,
A second.
I think it's Deuteronomy 23:6.
One second. Divine. Divine. One second.
Deuteronomy 23
Yes,
verse
men. Here,
4.
here it is. Fernando, do you hear? I bring the Hebrew verse and Fernando can read. One second. It is men. It's men, not ladies. Ladies. And there's an explanation here. Where is it? One second. I'm looking for it to copy. Here. Very good question. Fernando, can you please read the Hebrew?
I will try. But it's been a while.
Yeah.
And where I am, kind of. Can you just say where I can find it? Because here in the chat box, for me, it's not
clear.
it's not clear.
Yes,
It's
this is Deuteronomy
Deuteronomy
23, verse
4.
4.
23.
Verse 4.
23, chapter 23, verse 4. Yes,
Okay. First in English, maybe.
please.
Okay, so verse 4 is an Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation shall none of them enter in the assembly of the Lord forever. So in Hebrew, lo yavo Ammoni u Moabi Kahal Hashem. Gamdor Yasri, I'm sorry, lo yabo Lahem Kahal Hashem Ad Olam.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
God
It
bless.
is written Ammoni. Thank you so much. Ammoni. Ammoni is a male. Yes. And Moabi, again, it's a male Moabi, and Ammoni is a male Ammoni. Yes, this is what there's a beautiful discussion in the Talmud, in the Midrash, about what does it mean, because Ruth arrived and they say it's about male, not female. Yes, and there's also a reason here why not.
Ammoni,
yes, yes,
the same root from like people, like
yes,
different
yes,
strange
yes,
people.
yes. This is regarding the Ammon and Moab, those two people, before they were people. When, let's start, because it comes from somewhere. Lot, when he flee from Sodom being destroyed, he flee with his wife and children. His wife did not want to leave Sodom, and she stayed there. She just looked back. She could not leave. And he moved with the two daughters. They flee from Sodom, and they hid in a cave from the destruction. And the daughters of Lot, they took as an absolute truth the destruction of Sodom, and it was only the world. So they were sure that, according to what their eyes showed them, that the world, it's basically only the city was destroyed, but in their mind, the whole world was destroyed. So they were afraid that they could not, civilization cannot continue. So they gave to their father wine, and they both conceived from the father, night after night. So one daughter conceived a son and called the son Moab, and another daughter conceived a son from Lot and named the son Ammon, Ben Ami or Ammon. The elder daughter, she did not have shame from this, because according to natural law of behavior, people not doing it. And she did not have a shame, so she called the son Moab, meaning from the father himself. And the youngest daughter, she had more shame, so she named the son Ben Ami, the son of my people. And those two sons became later people, the Moabites and the Ammonites. Basically, those are descendants of Lot. Is this understood, Fernando?
So it you're saying that Deuteronomy 23, the Ammonites and the Moabites there actually refer to the male.
To the male, to the
Okay.
men, not to the
To the
ladies.
men, yeah.
To the male,
Okay.
not to the ladies. Yes.
And that's why Ruth can appear as a Moabitess and become the mother of David and
Yes.
become the grandmother.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Yes. Any other question? Jill, Yanis, Abigail, Fernando? Kehal Hashem, this is the audience or the community of being. This is what it means. Kehal Hashem, the community of being. So again, it's not against someone in particularly. Becoming is not being. This is what it means. Becoming is not being. This is what the verse is saying.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said about the assembly of the Lord?
It's yes, it's not about when people read the Bible, they think it's like a punishment or description of
Yeah, that's what
historical
most,
event.
that's
Yes.
how the interpretation or the commentaries would go, that they were punished, because of the incest.
Hmm. What the verse is saying is community, Kehal Hashem, community of the Lord, or Kehal Hashem, or community or audience of being, is just in the mode of being and becoming in a way. Ammoni and Moabi is a description of becoming. It's a process. This is a duration in time, or the matrix. Yes? The matrix can never enter the moment of being, because the matrix already declare space and time, or duration in time. And being does not need the conditions of space and time.
That's why
It
it says up to the 10th generation.
Yes, very, very well, very well, very well, very well. What does it mean, 10th generation? Is to count.
Yeah.
What counts? Cognition. 1, 2, 3, 4, duration in time.
Right. Makes sense. Connecting all.
Yes. So Kehal Hashem, the community of the Lord. I don't like the Lord. It doesn't fit. Yes. The community of being or emptiness is just being. Just
Because the
emptiness.
Hebrew uses Yud He Vav He, right? That's why
Yes, a
it's
being. Yes.
the being.
Being.
And that's why the translation used the word the Lord.
Yes.
But Yud He Vav He is actually the being.
Yes, because in being you don't have to. Yes, the translation. It's a very good question that you share with us, because the Lord in a way implies that there are two. There's a Lord, let's say like in a mansion, or there's a king and there's subordinate to the king. The word itself, Lord, in English, yes, already creates a separation. But the Yod He Vav He is just being, and everything is being. There is no separation.
Mm.
Yes, this
Yeah,
is what it
beautiful.
is.
Thank you.
It's great that you think of those questions. They come to you. It's great.
It just comes.
Yes, the role of being. Yes, a scroll of being. Yes, this is what it is. Any questions? Fernando, would you like to share an article or a passage from a book?
No, it's just this one that I said that I found beautiful. And it's interesting that sometimes it is often that this happens, that we read this once, but it doesn't make the effect. Let's say we didn't have the vessel in the first time that we were reading this passage. Understand what he was speaking of, It seems that you need to build a vessel to understand the things. I don't know if I made myself clear.
Because sometimes from reading, it is interesting. The question is interesting because sometimes we can read, but it doesn't click inside. What you call a vessel. It doesn't click. So there's, in a way, running information or ideas or story or lore, and catch it, but not, and Yes, yes, I remember that I was, just for an example, I was reading Thomas Mann, the forward to the book. It was months just to cross the forward, because what he does is just slowly building a scope that we shall enter this time that they were living, because he was writing the book 100 years ago. It's a very modern time. People take trains and airplanes and just to bring us how people could perceive life with those mythologies. So he has to, he cannot jump in just in one click and move us 5,000 years before our time. So he has to build those worlds inside before he takes us to the journey. And I said, I tried. And it did not happen. And then I tried another time, and it did not happen. Like you say, it's a vessel. Yes. So, and the text that you were quoting, it is just doing this gratuitously. Adult, yes, can understand. Those who arrive to this, there are adults who also ask for any activity. If they don't get a money or a fee, they would not do it. But to do something gratuitously, this is sacred. Because there is no receiver on the other side. Is this understood? There is no entity in the other end. This is what we say to do gratuitously, ahavat chinam. This is like free love. What does it mean? That there is no receiver. Because there is no entity on the other side of the line. There is a saying in Hebrew, לעשות mitzvah, to do a good deed for Shem Shamayim, Leshem Shamayim. We say in English, for God's sakes. God is still as an entity, but what does it mean to do something for God's sakes? Not that someone will receive a benefit. If we receive a benefit, it means that we are the receiver, ER, as an entity. But what does it mean to do gratuitously, or to, how do you say, for God's sakes? It means for emptiness.
Nice.
One way to the blue, yes? One way ticket to the blue. Because people usually, they ask, if you speak, they say, but what will I get out of it? Yes, when you offer something, but what will I get in return, in brackets, from it? Why shall I go for it? What shall it give me? Because people will not do one step until they will calculate what they will get in return. There will not be a movement to go forward. So to do something gratuitously, it is never coming from the brain. It can only come from the heart. Because it doesn't come from calculation. So you offer to someone to come to listen to a lecture, and then he asks, but what it will benefit? Why shall I go and listen, or just open, I don't know, a YouTube, or just listen? What benefit? For what cause? This is how people think. How it will promote me? What it will give me? How can I benefit my status situation? Just a beautiful story. In Seattle, Washington, there were two brothers. They came from a very, very poor family, but they liked to develop games. And they used to sit every night from 9 in the evening until 6 o'clock in the morning when everything is dark, because you can concentrate for many hours. In the daylight, it's hard to concentrate for many hours because the light changes and there's waves of the day. So they used to sit every night from 9 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the morning, and even later. Used to blind the room just to sit and to concentrate and to build this game for 15 years. And they share this computer game. They share it with their friends and those who likes gamers. Until one day, one of the gamers that has also a distributor shop offered them to connect to this abstract game also features, graphical features that people could also, not just geeks, could see, because there's like graphical figures. So this distributor asked the developer, one of the brothers or the writers, to connect those graphical figures, and it can improve the exposure of the game. And they agreed. And suddenly the game became so popular. Yes, and it came viral, and they become the brothers. They turned to be millionaires. But for 15 years, they used to sit every night and just concentrate for hours, and nobody could understand that. They did not have even, how do you say, not social security, but medical cover in America. I don't know how they call it. And they sat without, and just share what they have with people gratuitously. They did not intend to be millionaires or become millionaires. They just had they liked gaming, and they liked to build games, and they shared what they like with friends and the community of gamers, and they never asked for a cent or for a dollar. Never, 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 never. This is gratuitously. We say in English, for God's sakes, because why should someone sit and develop or build like something for 15 years and share it for free? They say in Hebrew, ahavat chinam, free love. From free love, or doing God's sakes, or gratuitously, this is how we build worlds. And when people always ask for return, or a salary or fee, or how much will I make from it, and they always take more, because this is how worlds are being destroyed. What there is a saying that the temple is being built from free love. What does it mean, free love? From gratuitously, because everyone just give and does not expect for return or for a good word. Or this is it. This is how nature works also. What does it mean? Just an example. We don't take it because we go to the supermarket, but look, just look at a tree of oranges. It just brings oranges every winter, regardless now of buying it in the supermarket. Look at nature. The tree gives its fruit in its time. Isn't this like free love? Isn't it an expression of free love?
Yes.
We are not different than the tree. We are the tree, yes, because the man is the tree of the field. Ruth did not go or return to Bethlehem with Naomi because she will get something out of it. It is opposite that Naomi already on Moab told them, even if I conceive today, and even if I will bear sons, will you anchor yourself to the... She just was taking, like a very good lawyer, all what she could give in her mind and say, look at the possible scenarios from this moment to the near and far future. She gave them all the options. And still Ruth listened and said, but I would like to be with you. And this is it. She did not return to get something. Also, David, that came from her. The writing of psalms or writing of poems is because he will get something from it. What is a poem? What is a poem? Is being, expression of being. Also, the Torah is expression of being. It's not historical story. Any questions or thoughts to share? And this is Passover, being, just being. There is no duration in time. Nobody has to become someone, not 10 generations, not 4 generations, not to stand on 4, not to drive on 6, just being. And this is freedom. None 2, none 4, none 6, none 10. Just being. This is it. Being or emptiness that holds all infinite possibilities. This is Passover. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we could still meet on Saturday. Yes, at the same time, just a few hours before the evening. I shall be happy to see you and hear from you.
So beautiful, and I thank you so much
Thank you for
for
being
reminding
here.
us, right? For reminding everybody that we are just being, not slaves.
Yes,
Something. Thank you so
yes.
much. Thank you, friends. So good to be here.
Thank you so much. Shalom, shalom, and see you soon. Chag Sameach.